I got the clicker. We're good?
You are good to go, sir.
This is the weirdest forum ever. All right.
I don't think we're live yet.
We live yet? We good? They can hear me. All right. Not if you can hear me. I'm sorry, this is the weirdest forum I've ever been in. I've never done one of these. I love the fact that even your headphones are pink to match our suits. You all knew we were coming. So hello everyone and welcome to the pink stage. In honor of being on the pink stage, we decided to dress up and get the situation of those on the other stages not listening. We're trying to get their attention. Obviously we can't. Maybe you go run over there and grab them and tell them this is more fun. So we have 45 minutes together today, and Pierce, Ryan, and I are going to spend that time talking through how the partner solutions landscape is evolving, including the changes and who the customers are and what they need, and what that means from an industry lens. We're going to really dive deep on the industry and how AWS is meeting these changes, industry and partner solution needs to unlock value for partners and customers in the real world. Okay, you ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. All right, let's dive in. All right, in this highly competitive industries we operate, customers are looking for partners that understand their industry, their business needs, and speak their language. But why? Why is that important? You think about McKinsey. There's a really cool study from McKinsey, and McKinsey research indicates that by 2030, the cloud could generate $3 trillion, that's a capital T, $3 trillion in EBITDA value for Forbes Global 2000 companies, with industries like pharma, banking, automotive, telecoms, travel, potentially seeing a 4 to 6% increase in their average EBITDA margin. And so the value of focusing on industry-specific cloud solutions enables customers to unlock the vast revenue opportunity beyond simple cloud adoption. In fact, 76% of the potential $3 trillion in EBITDA will stem from companies embracing industry-specific innovation, unique to their sectors. It's why AWS is focused with our partners, with all of you, on evolving the solutions, your solutions, to match the evolving industry needs of the customer. So to understand what we mean when we talk about evolving partner solutions and evolving customers, it's important to understand where we stand. Back in 2014, when I first joined, we were already delivering differentiated solutions for our customers. We'd sit with customers and go, hey, what do you want to be famous for? What brand do you want to establish? And differentiating back in 2014, believe it or not, was just based on lift and shift. You could be a differentiator by just lifting and shifting. It's kind of crazy. But then it evolved where our consulting partners, our ISVs, they took their IP, they put it in the cloud, they developed a SaaS or managed services offering, and then that's how they continued to differentiate. And then you think about the next part, that middle piece, the power of three. As we introduced these gaps in the solutions, it was really important that consulting partners and ISVs would come together to fill those gaps. That's that power of three. And it's AWS, a consulting partner, and ISV, and we call it power of three or multi-party. It isn't tri-party. You might have heard of tri-party before, but we've discovered it's a consulting partner and multiple ISVs. Quick show of hands. Who's a consulting partner in the room? Okay, about half. ISVs, technology partners? I'm assuming the other half. Don't be bashful, raise those hands. Okay, so that middle piece, it was important that you come together. Look at the folks who raised their hands when you didn't. Those are the folks that you want to know, you want to get to know, because solutions start getting complete when you start coming together in that respect. And then we want it to be repeatable. We want to be repeatable, scalable. One of my favorite examples is Deloitte. Deloitte developed this platform called Converge Health. And when I say repeatable, we start taking these primitives. If you ever listened to Andy Jassy or read his earnings announcement, his letter to shareholders, I don't know, a couple quarters ago, he talked about this concept of primitives. And we take those building blocks, we put them together and develop a platform. And Deloitte's a great example. They had developed a platform called Converge Health that delivered about 80% of what a customer needed. And then from there, it could be tailored based upon what that customer might want. And it may not be for the originally intended use. So this little thing called COVID hit, and Deloitte used Converge Health and applied it toward delivering the Moderna COVID vaccine faster, in months, as opposed to taking something and developing it from scratch for years, because they had a platform from which they could build. And so that's just one of many examples of using something that was built, filling in the gaps with ISVs and technology partners, and then using it in a repeatable fashion to tailor it for customer to deliver the outcomes that they need. So let me get to the next slide here. So how are we now doing that in the generative AI era? Well, Amazon's invested heavily in the development and deployment of AI and machine learning for more than 25 years. In fact, most people don't realize we've been at this for over 25 years with Alexa and in the Amazon.com world and in other respects. And we've taken the AI-powered robots that optimize order fulfillment in our warehouses. AWS has helped hundreds of thousands of customers of all sizes across industries to innovate using ML and AI with industry-leading capabilities. So we've been at this a long time, and we're continuing to evolve. So while generative AI is new to the world, it's part of Amazon's heritage, our ethos, and our future. Just like how AWS democratized access to cloud computing services, AWS is democratizing access to building and using generative AI technology so that companies of all sizes across all industries with developers of all skill sets can take part in this transformative and transformation and grow their businesses. We're innovating at a colossal rate, more than ever before. Since that's the start of 2024, we've announced the general availability of more features and capabilities in Amazon Bedrock than any other leading cloud provider. And the impact of these capabilities is massive. Tens of thousands of customers from virtually every industry of all sizes are using Amazon Bedrock to accelerate their generative AI initiatives. With Amazon Q's code transformation capabilities, Amazon has migrated over 30,000 IDK applications in a few months, saving the companies $250 million in 4,500 developer years compared to what it would have taken otherwise in cost. NASDAQ leverages generative AI to tackle insider dealing, cutting investigation time by 33%. Rocket Company's Gen AI voice agent solution speeds up home buying process by 80%. You can see these are just a couple of the applications, and it's going to continue to accelerate. So let's talk about the mental model, the flywheel on this thing. And how do we deliver this? So this is my version of flywheel. Raise show of hands. How many have seen Jeff Bezos' flywheel that he drew on the napkin, I think in a Starbucks? So a lot of folks. This is my attempt at a flywheel, not as good as Jeff's. Might be better, I don't know. And what we want is it all starts with the customer use case. We always start with the customer and work backwards. So you start with industry-specific use cases. As we've evolved our company to be more industry-focused, the use cases are absolutely critical to our success. So we start with the customer use case. Then we look at what solutions all of you have built, or we've built with you, first party combined with third party, all of you, form a solution. And then we look to maybe our ProServe consulting partners, preferably consulting partners in this room, to deliver it to customers as a managed service or a SaaS offering. The SaaS offerings include your IP and make you differentiated. We take it to the customer, and then we do it again for the next use case. And we do it again, and we continue that flywheel. And the important piece of this is we're doing it with customer input and feedback. That's essential. How do we know which use case to go to next? Customer input and feedback, partner input and feedback. And you can see that it just keeps going around and around. So I'm going to jump to a very specific example. Aston Martin. I'm hoping you've all heard of Aston Martin. So Aston Martin had a very specific use case. If you look at auto and manufacturing, we've identified 61 priority use cases in auto and manufacturing. And by the way, we've done that in every industry. We've identified priority use cases. And Gen AI keeps adding new use cases all the time. But we've kind of honed in on these 61. And in particular, Aston Martin had to prepare for new vehicle launches. And that's one of the use cases that we wanted to apply. They need to prepare for new vehicle launches. They need to determine who are the customers who are going to buy the new vehicle. How many customers? What's the predictability of the conversion rate of those customers? All of that indicates to them how many cars they need to make for that vehicle launch, which they had previously been miscalculating based upon the data that they had. They didn't have proper analytics and insights on that data. So working with Data Reply, working with AWS and Data Reply, Aston Martin took the analytics and we applied it in preparation for a new vehicle launch. And what we did is we increased the confidence in the customer predictability by 85%, and the customer conversion by 35 times in order to give a better predictability on what they needed to make for that vehicle launch. In short, Aston Martin used Data Reply's AI modeling capability and AWS the tech stack to help dealers successfully reach customers who would want to buy the vehicle. And that's a very specific use case for a very specific point in time. And as I mentioned before, we've done this across every industry. And to dive deeper or give you a better feel for what we're doing across multiple other industries with use cases and dive deeper into those use cases and how Gen AI applies, I'm going to turn it over to my pink compatriots, Pierce and Ryan.
Thanks, Chris. So Chris Niederman forgot to introduce himself, which gives me a pretty cool opportunity to introduce him on his behalf.
I did forget to introduce, that's rare. I forgot to introduce myself.
So 3 years ago, our CEO stood up on reInvent here in Vegas and said, we're going to shift our entire go-to-market model. We're going to shift from a horizontal model to a vertical one, from selling storage and infrastructure to going to market with industry use cases. And we've completed that transformation this year by aligning all of our partner and solution teams into one organization under Chris. So that's Chris's job. He runs all of our industries. So we cover, 26 industries, 28 industries.
We cover 26 industries and then hundreds of sub-industries, the sub-sectors, and I couldn't do it without you gentlemen. So you be sure to introduce yourself because I didn't clearly, and so I'll let you two can take it from here.
So I'm Ryan Thomas. I run a bunch of Chris's industry teams, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that means. And I run some cross-industry stuff. So those of you that are focused on customer experience, sustainability, supply chain, and some of the other functions there, we can talk a little bit about that and how that applies into the industry solutions that hits. I get the question all the time, what are you investing in? So I'll pick on Chris since he didn't introduce himself. Chris is up here talking about flywheels and McKinsey. I'm going to get into what are the actual use cases, what are we investing in? And then Pierce is going to bring it home with some what we call strategic value chains and how we actually build and take those solutions to market. This is our 2025 investment roadmap as it looks right now. It's going to change tomorrow, it's going to change next week. But as we lean into generative AI in industries and work backwards in that flywheel that Chris showed, we have zeroed in on where we want to place our big bets and where we think there are gaps, consistently looking at what we think our customers are going to be buying 6 to 18 months down the road. There's a little bit of a left to right journey here. If I start on the left side with financial services and healthcare, what is going from pilot to production in a consistent manner, both with our tech partners, consulting partners, our resellers, is the advancement of high-end professional opinions. In financial services, prime brokerage. If you're ever, I'm sure we've all placed $1 billion investment at some point on a BMW. If you want to hedge that against the German auto market, which we've all done before, you've called your broker who makes $2, $3, $4, $5 million a year, and they've helped you figure out how to build that hedge. Today, that's done better, it's done faster, it's done for free, and that information is democratized. In healthcare, life sciences, we're going to go through a couple of examples. I'm actually going to zoom in on a lot of the life sciences things, but we'll zoom in on AstraZeneca. If you go to an AstraZeneca clinic in the United States and get any medical imaging done today, the radiologist that looks at your chest scan or a broken bone scan or x-ray or whatever has a generative AI report sitting beside him or her that was generated by a minimum of 25 million, that was trained on a model of a minimum of 25 million scans and something similar. So if you're looking for advanced detection of lung cancer, that model was trained with 25 million people who also had chest scans. And not only that, but it can go back in time. I can look at your chest scan and I can see what someone who had a similar chest scan looked like 5 years ago and how various therapeutics and various other drug advancements came along. As I move into media and entertainment and telco, it won't surprise you. It's hyper-personalization, generative AI to get the right content to you where you want it at the right time on the right device. No surprise there as we've moved into hyper-personalization of media, gaming, sports. Bundesliga is now rolling out advanced stats. The next-gen stats that you see in the NFL, they're rolling out for the European leagues, the Asian leagues, and we're seeing more and more of that get into the hands of consumers, into real-time gambling sites, and as they increase the ability to reach their customers. And as I move into retail and auto manufacturing, more and more, what is it that the customer wants? If you're like my wife and you like to buy things online, Saks Fifth Avenue rolled out a product using generative AI this year where you can see your body, your skin tone, your body shape, and you can see a shirt, a pair of pants that looks just like you. You can even make it dance around a little bit and get that look and feel for what that looks like. Generative AI is changing the shopping experience, and we're trying to evolve that as we move through. So how do you get involved? Many, many ways. You've probably been beaten to death in the word competencies this week. Competencies are our bar. It's a very, very high bar. It's something that we intentionally make very hard for our partners to demonstrate to our customers that the partner we bring to the table has the various skills, capabilities, and capacity to deliver what we're recommending that they can bring to the table. Today we have 18 industry competencies. Tomorrow we'll have more. 19 use case competencies, things like generative AI, built-in resiliency, HPC, and so on. And then we have 4 workload competencies, which is also going up tomorrow. So stay tuned for some big announcements in some of the keynotes tomorrow. But as we zoom in on the competencies, I want to stress the importance of most of our partners don't have all of the competencies. Those that do have demonstrated a specific niche, a capability to deliver against a strategic use case. Chris mentioned the 61 use cases that we're prioritizing in automotive and manufacturing. Financial services similarly has 60-ish. Media and entertainment has about 30 that go from monetization to publication, broadcast, and we also zoom in at the regional level. I'll give you an example. We launched the generative AI competency last year with 45 partners. 30 of those were consulting, 15 ISVs. And the question you might be asking is, why would I go get a competency when you already have 45 partners doing this? These 45 partners in the last year have covered 10 different countries, or they're headquartered in 10 different countries. They've sold to customers in 59 different countries. I'm sorry, they have offices in 59 different countries and sold to customers in 110. They cover over 60 different languages, and they cover the use cases in healthcare. Generative AI has 29 healthcare use cases, retail has 23, telco 22, manufacturing has 21. I mentioned some of those cross-industry pieces. Engineering design goes across industry, has 20 priority generative AI use cases, 21 in automation, 35 in customer experience. I tell you this because when you start to look at that many-to-many-to-many relationship, there's so many gaps and so much opportunity for our partners that we have yet untapped. The number of gaps far exceeds the number of use cases that we have capable partners delivering these generative AI use cases that we want to be selling in 6 to 18 months. So I kind of hinted at this before. I want to talk a little bit about the AstraZeneca case. We're not replacing drug hunters, people who are looking for the next therapeutic, the next pharmaceutical to take to market, the next clinical trial that they want to accelerate with the FDA. But we are looking to augment that. And the companies that don't have that augmentation, the prime broker that doesn't have generative AI sitting behind them, the radiologist that doesn't have that ability to expedite recommendations and therapeutic prescriptions, they're not going to survive. And we're already seeing that in the market as we're accelerating the time to do very complicated things with folks like this. The conversation has changed. It wasn't just, say, 18 months ago at the New York Summit when our CTO, Werner, got up on stage and unleashed and unveiled to the world many of the features that we were coming out with Bedrock. At the time when we were talking to customers and partners, we were getting a lot of questions around what is Gen AI and is this secure and how are you using my data and do I really need to be doing this? That has shifted. The conversation has really shifted to how do I do it? What's the best way to do it? And now we've even evolved into the point where our customers have very, very strong opinions. I just met with a major wealth manager yesterday who said to me they are building their own foundational models, their own FMs. That is a giant undertaking. And I'm saying FMs, not LLMs. They think that the differentiation at the FM and LLM level is going to proliferate so much and be so specialized that no one's going to win the market. That they want to leverage the flexibility and capacity of something like Bedrock or SageMaker, but bring their own foundational models. We're seeing other customers that are really leaned in. They want to use Llama. They want to use the next LLM and have that diversity in their portfolio to offer to their developers, and we're bringing that to bear. We've done that to the point now that 9 of the top 10 pharmaceutical companies in the world by revenue, lawyers made sure I said by revenue, are using generative AI machine learning on AWS. In addition to that, The top 10 medical devices all have pilots and or production offerings in generative AI. And we have 4 of the 5 leading genomic sequencing providers, again, running generative AI on AWS, many in pilot, many in production, and continuing to move that forward. What we've learned as we've moved literally thousands of pilots into production across the 26 industries that Chris covers are 3 things. Those that are successful have 3 things in common. They've selected the use cases and maximized their customer data. And I'm going to talk through 2 examples of how we've actually seen this in practice. But getting to the right use case. We're not solving all problems at once. We're not boiling the ocean. We're not boiling all the oceans. We're not building lasers in case we find water on Mars to evaporate that as well. We're solving for one use case. And we're accelerating that, and we're working backwards from what the customer wants. I'm beating that one to death. Second is they're curating, building, and deploying the right AI models for the problem they're solving. We see a lot of diversity in the AI models. I mentioned the wealth manager that's building their own FMs. We're seeing most customers, almost all customers, experimenting with a wide array of LLMs and different generative AI capabilities. The ISV market is exploding, and the ISVs that are getting very specific to a solution is getting bigger and bigger. Again, I kind of mentioned the Bundesliga example. Bundesliga just rolled out a generative AI capability for soccer fans for referee-assisted, what's it called? Referee-assisted, like with replay. And so, when you're like me sitting in a bar yelling whether that's offsides or not, they're actually using generative AI to get down to 100% precision of whether the play was offsides or not using generative AI. They've sold that to MLS, and now they're expanding that into various women's leagues and other markets. And the third thing that we're doing is we're transforming industry workflows. I've been here 7 years, you've got 10. Back in those days, everybody had a metaphor. You walk around reInvent, everybody was like, the cloud is like X, right? The cloud is like this new innovation. My favorite metaphor was the cloud is like a video camera. And if you go back and look at how the video camera was used, 100 years ago, 120 years ago, they used to just point it at the stage and say, okay, go do your Hamlet on stage, go do Macbeth, and I'm going to point it and I'm going to record it. And the value proposition was that I can now show that video to hundreds or thousands or millions of people without them having the money or the resources to go to the theater. It very quickly changed as directors became involved. We started to build sets. We started to cut and paste things together and do things that you couldn't do in real life, you couldn't do on stage, and really evolve the entire movie-making industry. Generative AI is that disruptive. It's not taking a process and making it a little bit better. It's how do you work with your customers to really transform their workflow and do it in a brand new, innovative, better way. And those that are doing that are seeing a much higher rate of adoption and pilot to production. The competency partners I showed on the last slide have a 4x higher adoption rate of going to production from a pilot than those that don't. So the partners that are really leaning into these frameworks are really seeing the benefit. I'm going to talk to 2 examples and talk how they did that. Easy Op with Lilly, an awesome example of taking a very specific use case. In this case, it's clinical study reporting, meaning taking doctors' notes, taking actual conversations, taking those little recordings that doctors do on the microphones, and documenting clinical documentation end-to-end with generative AI. And Easy Op took that and really streamlined the entire process flow, selling it to doctors' offices, healthcare providers, even some of the life sciences customers that are doing clinical trials, and streamlined that with Lilly while maintaining patient safety, while maintaining confidentiality, while maintaining all of the security that we would expect from our healthcare providers and from AWS. In doing so far, they've eliminated 10,000 hours of writing and reviewing. They've accelerated medical review by 200%, meaning literally cutting 1/3 of the time to document and getting doctors back where they should be, working with all medical providers working with patients and actually solving medical problems. And Lilly can now produce in seconds what it used to do to take weeks. And the last one I'll do, and I'll turn it over to Pierce. Frontmatic, a leading food processing machine builder, worked with Siemens to again, take one use case, take advantage of what data they had, and zoom in on the Siemens industrial edge, using IoT at the edge to accelerate and bring in the entire generative AI models using their data to accelerate Formatics. So they used asset modeling on IoT Sitewise, our IoT platform, and structured data across machines, processed to calculate metrics, and is now accelerated. Oh, I lost all my stats, but they disappeared. But have really done a massive increase. We have numbers that show a 30 or 40% increase in the production rate that they can get things to market, and a much faster sales rate that they can deliver. If they have a customer conversation who wants to stand up a plan, who wants to augment their facilities, they're seeing significant cuts down to that. So that's a little bit of what we're investing in. I'm going to hand it over to Pierce, who's going to talk about how we actually build solutions and take that to market.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. My name is Pierce Hoffman, and I lead solutions for the AWS Specialist and Partner Organization. As we've been on this industry journey for the last year, as you'd expect, we've been listening to our customers. And one of the things that we started to hear from them was really well articulated by the CEO of one of our large customers. They said to us, if I want to buy a car, I don't want to go buy 4 wheels, a steering wheel, an engine, and figure out how to put it together. You know, this made a lot of sense when we thought about it. There's always going to be off-roading enthusiasts that want to go build a custom rock crawler from the pieces. There's going to be a lot of people that want to pick a brand, go down to the dealership, figure out the options that are right from them, figure out the right model, and get a car that's, you know, customized to meet their needs. And there's still going to be others that want to go online, click 4 buttons, and have a car delivered to them pretty quickly. This makes a lot of sense to us, and we do understand it. And we feel it's a great analogy for AWS as well. We are always going to have customers that want to use the best building blocks in the world from AWS to build bespoke solutions that differentiate them in their industry. We also are hearing from our customers that they want packaged software that they can customize to meet their needs. And we're still hearing from other customers that they want to be able to go out on the marketplace, download software that's ready to go and meet their needs. This is all incredibly important as we look at how your AWS partner solutions are going to help our customers go forward. One of the other interesting things we've been learning in these conversations is our customers are thrilled that we have thousands of solutions to meet every possible need that they have. But where they became a little concerned is they say, I appreciate the thousands, but tell me about the handful that are relevant to me. So we've gone down the road of saying, how do we make sure that out of the thousands of solutions, we know what that handful are? And going back to the use cases that Chris and Ryan spoke of, we decided to say, let's map every single solution to one of those use cases, and then also put very specific geolocations on those as well, so folks know where they work. We're regularly hearing from our customers now that it's really important to them that they know it works in their geography or country. The uniqueness of how business is done in different parts of the world, language requirements, local regulations are becoming more and more important. The other thing that we've heard as we've been going down this is our customers are telling us they're not just interested in solving a specific challenge or problem. They actually want us to help them address their entire value chain, which is the end-to-end processes and activities necessary for them to deliver value to their customers. And additionally to wanting us to help them address these value chains, we found out that some of these value chains are critical to us being able to help customers in an industry, and if we don't address those, we can't help them in their broader business. And we've been thinking about those and refer to those as strategic value chains. We've already talked to you about a few of those today. First one being connected analytics and intelligence in the automotive industry. Another one being smart manufacturing in retail and consumer goods. And I'm going to talk to you about content production in media and entertainment in a little bit. Now I want to bring this to life a little bit with an example that really talks about where this comes, really how this comes together. The NHL used to do all their production in their facilities close to home. They asked us to help them revolutionize how they're thinking about that and take it to the next level and move their entire video and content production to the cloud. This wasn't just something that we were going to do by ourselves. And it was something that was going to require the support of multiple different partners, AWS engineers, engineers and solution architects, as well as the input from the NHL. When it came time to execute the NHL cloud-based live broadcast, we worked closely with all those folks, and we figured out how to integrate the partners that were already there to deliver those capabilities that they were looking to achieve. What's really interesting about this is if we had not moved and worked with one of these partners, the league would still be working with an on-prem solution. But the fact that we all came together, Chris talked about the power of 3, I'm going to talk about the power of 9, 7 partners, AWS and NHL, was what really unlocked the capability. And not only did we take the process that was there in place already and with the NHL and say, hey, let's move that to the cloud and make it a faster, more dynamic process, we unlocked new capabilities for them. We allowed them to customize each broadcast to the individual user, providing an experience that was unique down to the fan level. Now, the other thing you may think about with this is going like, well, that sounds really hard. And yeah, it's hard, but this was done in a month. Not the many months or probably even years if we decided to do it on-prem or in the ways that using older technologies. Now, while that did take 7 solutions from our partners coming together to solve that challenge, I want to zero in a little bit and talk about the individual solutions that many of y'all have and many of y'all are bringing to our customers. What makes them successful and what makes them stand out? Now, if you get 3 guys in bright pink suits at reInvent, we stand out. You can't really do that to your solution. And the other challenge that you kind of have a little bit of, it doesn't really scale for the other 364 days this year or outside of Las Vegas. So we found some key things that are proven to make our partner solutions really stand out for our customers and stand out for our AWS sellers as well. The first one is always making sure that a solution is customer focused. And coming from AWS is probably what you expect, but it is super important, and I can't tell you the difference when our partners do this of the impact it has. And when I say customer focus is making sure that you're starting with a customer challenge. Second thing is clear benefits. When a customer asks you, what does your solution mean to me? Having a really clear, concise answer that they can understand and that they can action on is super important. The features are important, but making sure the customer understands what that solution means to them is doubly so. Proven success stories are true as well. Our AWS sellers, when they're looking to bring things to our customers when they're saying, hey, where have you done this before? They all want to know about where you've been successful and what they can expect. There's nothing breeds success like success. And finally, I hit on this a little bit earlier, and it's something that's been really top of mind over the last 6 months, is geospecificity. Our customers are clamoring to understand what works for them where they are. That is super important as we move into this. I was working with the AWS sales team in Central Europe, and the folks that are responsible for the manufacturing business were asking us, they're saying, we need to go have a conversation with a set of customers around computer-aided design for our customers in Austria. And we're like, well, we got all kinds of computer-aided design. They're like, no, we want the ones that are ready for our customer in Austria. And as I mentioned earlier, we've been working to define solutions by use cases. We were able to recommend the 3 partners that met that criteria and send them off in their day. It was fabulous, and that is the level of specificity and the outcomes our sellers and our partners are looking for. Now, once we have these great solutions, how can we help you get them out there? When I came into role 9 months ago, there were 3 things I was focused on. First one was making sure we have the right solutions. Second one was making sure that we could get those solutions into the hands of our customers. And that is incredibly important to me. And the third one is making sure that y'all see AWS as the best place to build solutions with us. Now, going back to how do we get them out there? First off, we are out in industry at industry-specific events and in the channels. Both first-party events as well as third-party events. We're engaging with you in those events to make sure that, one, we're hearing the messages from our partners and our customers, but also that we are sharing how AWS can help. We're also involved in industry thought leadership. We have folks that are writing white papers, doing research, working with analyst forums to help both shape the story of what the future of the cloud across industries is going to be, but again, also hear from you and our customers on what y'all need and how we can support you, what's working, and what more you need. And finally, we're involved in industry initiatives and memberships to help build and shape the future. We don't want to just talk about it, but we want to be there with you. And I think being there with you is probably the most important part. This is not something that we're going to go out and do by ourselves. We want to do it collaboratively and engage with our partners and our customers every day. We know you are an important part of this, and we want to be there, right there with you as we do this. Now, directly to customers, we have a number of tools that can help this, but two that I'd like to talk about is one is Marketplace, which is a powerful platform that allows your customers to procure your solutions directly and easily today. Now, y'all probably have heard a bit about Marketplace. You come to an event like reInvent and it's there. I was a skeptic when I joined AWS 5 years ago, and I will tell you I am a full convert. And there's a long story of how I got there, but I'll give you the super short answer to it. Partners that are selling on Marketplace are achieving 27% higher win rates, 40% faster sales cycles, and 80% larger deals. So we help you sell faster, we help you sell bigger deals, and we help you win more. As a person that used to be a sales guy, I kind of like that. Finally, we got over 2.5 million subscriptions and billions of dollars in transactions. This is a place to help accelerate your business and simplify how customers engage. Now, the other one is the AWS Marketplace. This is a curated set of partner solutions and AWS solutions side by side that is set up and managed by our industry experts. A place for our customers to come and understand how partners and AWS solutions can help them drive their business and help them build that business. I got behind myself there. We're leveraging your unique expertise in IP to get your products out to market and to help our customers accelerate their goals. We continue to improve this platform through onboarding of new industries, through onboarding of new solutions from you, making that process simpler. We know that the easier it is for you to get the solutions out there, the better the outcomes and the faster we can get to them. And finally, what we're always looking for is how can we make sure that these fit together and carry out to our customers. Now, as I wrap up, wouldn't want you to leave here without next steps. So a couple of things I'll go with. The first one is I said one of my goals was to make us the best place to build. We have an amazing amount of opportunity ahead of us together with our customers. We want you to come build and take your solutions to market with us. Second of all, we know you already have a lot of them, and we know about a lot of them, but we also know that there's a lot that you haven't told us about. And I can't integrate your solution into our next sales play if I don't know about it. So the solutions that you have, go into Partner Central, tell us about your solution, and let us know when you're winning with your customers. The number one thing I get asked by our sellers after is, hey, tell me where the solution is that affects my geo, is which one's the best seller? They want to know where you're winning. And a lot of times, that's the thing that gets them moving. They're like, oh, all right, somebody's already bought this 3 times, I'm in. Let's go. Finally, and as always, please work your way back from our customers and their customer value chains. Understanding their needs and building your solutions and targeting them based on those is what we have seen has driven proven success and is how we hope to see the future grow going forward. So with that, I thank you everybody for your time and wish that you have a great rest of reInvent.